Hey, my name's Anderson Williams,
Hi, my name's Tyree Polson.
Hi, I'm Liam Kerr.
and this is the Ty and Andy podcast. Today, we're joined with special guest Liam Kerr, kicker punter of Columbian football and future kicker punter of Heidelberg football. Maybe not a lot of people know this about you, but you were at Calvert before you came to Columbian. You transferred end of sophomore year into junior year, right?
Yeah.
So, can you sort of explain what that transition was, or what kind of led to that transition, like on the football field for you?
So Calvert, it just wasn't the right fit for me. I mean, the athletic program it didn't really benefit me personally. I mean, great guys, great coaches, but when I came over to Columbian, like Coach Stacy and his workout program and having more freedom to do what I need to do on the field really helped me grow as an athlete and helped me grow in confidence as a person as well.
Okay. And then there's always the like person to person aspect, sort of more so than like the sports aspect, but more like the life aspect. Like, what was it kind of like transitioning schools, like in general? Because I know I've transitioned schools and I've lost friends before, just fell out of contact and stuff like that.
I try to stay in contact with the guys at Calvert, but it's just so much bigger at Columbian. I mean, I don't know everyone, and it's kind of a weird feeling because at Calvert there's 120 people, and I know all of them.
Okay.
But at Columbian, I'm not even close to knowing everyone there.
I feel that. I know Tyree knows what
Yeah.
it's like to not know everyone.
Yeah.
Our public speaking class, I know before that, I don't think you knew Stewie or Rick.
Oh, like none of the people in there.
And I know Deacon joining that class sort of
Evened it out a little bit.
evened
yeah,
it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I've never experienced going from a little school to a small school the way you did. I was young when I transferred, but I went to Columbus school and I transferred to Tiffin City Schools, so I always knew what it was like to go from big to big. I've never known what it's like to be in a small school, just a environment where you know literally everyone and everyone knows you. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I feel like that'd be hard on me as a person.
Oh, most definitely, because like the classes, it's just like there's like 20, 30 people in a class compared to like 10 people in the smaller school, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like more crowded, less attention from teachers. So it was a bit of a struggle at first academically. Also because the classes are harder at Columbian. Like it's not even funny how much harder they are.
So back to sort of the football and athletics aspect. You've mentioned to me in study hall times and time before, like you've ran track
Mhm.
at Calvert, and you did you really play a kicker punter in football over there, or were you more so like just sort of on the sideline? You wanted to play those, but they really had you doing something else.
Well, I was mostly on the sideline, like you said, but it was because I didn't want to be another position. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And going back to the track, what sort of made the decision for you to stop pursuing other sports and really just hone in on football, that one sport?
I just felt like that's where my talents were the best because I'm fast. I was good at soccer, but football is where I shine the brightest. You know what I mean?
Okay. And going just in depth into it, the locker room, overall, just like the aura, or like sort of just overall difference between Calvert and Columbian football. I mean, could you elaborate on that a little bit?
I feel like Columbian had more of a winner's mentality. I felt like because at Calvert, like when we played a team, we knew we were either gonna win or lose. But at Columbian, we're gonna win every game because that's the standard that we're held to.
Okay. Now that you're a senior, you're approaching graduation. Um, you've obviously considered college sports, and now you've been accepted into the Heidelberg football family. What was kind of the recruiting process, not just from Heidelberg, from like other schools?
Most schools reached out via email or text, but I just didn't really feel personal with them. But when I talked to Coach Donaldson, it just seemed like he understood what I need as an athlete and a person.
Okay. And then I think it makes sense that you'd go there. It's in town, right? So
Yeah,
you have the
free food, free
free
housing. Yeah,
free pretty much almost anything. And then Tyree has mentioned in the past that he wants to go to Heidelberg to pursue the career he wants to pursue. I just want to know like what you two think will be similar and what will be like sort of different in your careers at Heidelberg, because Tyree doesn't do football, but you will be. So what will that kind of aspect be like?
I feel like I'll have to worry more about time management.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, because I plan to go for like a master's in music education. So, obviously I'm going to be doing a lot more work with music. Obviously, like there are choirs there, choirs, like it's optional to join. Like an athlete can even join their choir.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be a big part of like the degree I'm going to get. And yeah. So obviously I want to be a lot more music oriented, and you're gonna have to be a lot more sports oriented
For sure.
when you're going there.
And I'm going for a business degree, so that's also going to be different.
Right. I mean, we're two different majors we're talking.
Exactly. Yeah.
Same school, but it's different world.
Yeah, for sure.
And so you guys will be doing different classes, and I think your day-to-days would look different. I mean, Tyree won't have to wake up early on Saturdays for going to Muskingum or Mount Union to go play those guys. But what do you think the key difference will be? Obviously, there's big differences in high school and college. I mean, you're basically on your own in college versus high school. You go home to mom and dad almost every single night, tell them what's up, all that. What do you think the main difference will be, in your life, and like what the key difference in football will be?
I think the key difference in football, it'll be the workouts for sure, because in high school, I kind of planned my own workouts for kicking, but in college, Coach Donaldson told me this. Like they're going to have a regimen for me to follow every single day.
Okay. And that's definitely different from what we have, but do you think not so much playing time, but like the overall like play that you will be experiencing there, do you think you'll play any different than you did here in high school, or?
Well, I'm probably going to have to learn a different way to punt, because I'm pretty sure they do Aussie rules and standard punting.
Okay.
But we just did standard punting, so it'll be something I have to work on. Sure.
And then we've had plenty of alumni go there for football, like Max Fortney and guys in the past. Do you plan on like reconnecting with any of them, or even guys that are going to different schools in the OAC conference, like Bradley Willman to Baldwin Wallace? Do you plan on reconnecting with any of them on like game day?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll say hi after the game, And
then we're approaching the end of our time. I just kind of wanted to know, like, how do you feel about like life in general? Like we're all growing up, right?
Yeah.
I'm not so much worried about it now as I will be come senior year. I feel like I'm gonna push that off. I don't know about Tyree. I don't know what his plans are, but like you're there. You're ready to graduate. Like
right, we're only juniors.
Yeah.
Right. This guy, he's already at the end of the line as far as high school.
Like this will be an opportunity for us, but for our viewers watching, like what's sort of like your plan for the future? Like obviously everyone's gonna have different career paths and plans, but like what would you sort of like say?
I feel like I'd want a job in maybe marketing. Just something. I don't want to be like a CEO of a company, because that's stressful. I want to enjoy my job and also make a decent amount of money. You know what I mean?
It's understandable. Yeah. I get that.
Because I know there's career fields that are really hard to get careers in. I mean, I want to go for sports broadcasting and
Mhm.
stuff in that area, and I know that can be a hard field to get into. Tyree, you want to go into the music field, right?
Yeah, and I plan to be like a choir director or like at least a music educator.
And you have
know?
plenty of opportunities to do.
Right.
There's what, millions of high schools across the United States.
Yeah.
Would you even consider going somewhere in Ohio, or do you want to branch out and kind of move out almost?
I think it's honestly whatever it takes to kind of like fulfill that passion. Because
Okay.
I really want to educate, really want to pass on that knowledge. I kind of want to be one of those teachers that when people are like, 34, they're like, man, I remember that guy. Like he made an impression on me, and I feel like I want to be that for somebody.
Okay.
So it doesn't really matter where. It could be in Ohio, it could be anywhere else.
Okay. And then Liam, plenty of marketing jobs on the market.
Oh
like,
yeah.
like,
Oh,
do you
so
have any
many.
like dream house, dream state you want to live in? Like, because there's always, oh, I want to move to Florida. I want to move to California. That's my dream, to have a house there and have a job and wife and kids. Like, does that play any factor into you, or is it just if they offer me a job, I'll go for the job?
Probably the second one, but if I had a dream spot to live, it would probably be maybe in Oregon in the mountains because it's just so beautiful out there, you know?
Right.
Yeah. My dream spot, sports broadcasting in Florida. Obviously, I would take any sports broadcasting job anywhere if they offered me. But and I know we all have that one spot that we would like to go to and just set up there. And then after college, to the sports aspect of your future life, would you ever consider like going pro? Like even if it's not the NFL, like the UFL for spring football or Canadian Football League?
I would consider it, but I don't know if it's a stable income. That's my only problem. Because if I tear my ACL, then I'm screwed, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And then Tyree, if you were offered to go into like a traveling choir,
Oh, that'd be
that
sick.
that gets paid like on the show, because I know a couple choirs come through Tiffin and they perform
Yeah,
at the Ritz.
traveling choirs. Right.
Would that ever play a role into like maybe I hold off on the teaching aspect and then I pursue this right now and then I go back to college to get my teaching degree?
Right. I feel like it just depend on how the opportunity came up and like when it did. Because like I feel like obviously as much as I would love to pick, drop everything and go and do that. I mean, I kind of got a couple of things here. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that would be amazing. Be part of a traveling choir. Go like I don't know. I would say the world, like the U.S. Go around sing and do that. It'd be a great thing to do.
Big question. Would you leave the country for it?
Maybe it'd be a great traveling opportunity. I think.
Where in the world, if they were today, they walked in here and said, Tyree, we want you to come sing for us, but we're going to Italy, or we're going to
Europe sounds great. Like that Europe area, like
or we're going to like China or Japan, like would there be a specific spot that you would choose way over the others?
well, I really want to. It's not that like any other like the countries are like really like worse than the others as far as like what I'd like to go to because travel's travel.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a cool concept either way that I get to have like that opportunity to do it. But I think like I said, Europe, like Italy, Germany, like the UK. I really want to see like those European countries since I've never left the country. I've only been out of state and stuff.
And for for both of you, because I know I personally would take maybe a year after college, just go travel, be, sort of like act like a teenager, be in my mid 20s
All right, I mean it's
one
your life at
last
that
time.
point,
Like,
right?
would you guys ever consider just taking a year, go travel, have fun with your friends, and then really get serious about life? Or are you guys just on the path of, yeah, just give me the job, give me some money, and then I can retire, maybe early?
Oh, fun year like that sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, because it's just experiences. Because if you travel and experience the world, then it'll broaden your knowledge and maybe it'll help you get better jobs. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that kind of just leads us into this last portion. Would you ever consider, well, not that coming back to Tiffin's a bad thing at all, But would you ever consider like maybe coming back to Tiffin for maybe lower pay, but to kind of just be back at home to get that hometown feel, you know?
I don't think so, if I'm being honest, because I feel like I could probably find like another home, like home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Tyree, would you ever consider take out the less pay, right? Just coming back home and like experiencing Tiffin as sort of an older individual, you know, you're late 20s, early 30s, now you're really getting into life. Would you ever come back to kind of experience it that way for a job?
For a job, I don't think so. But like, would I come and visit? Would like I see like some of my buddies that are still here, like family and stuff? Heck yeah, dude.
I kind of view it in sort of a way as I don't know if I would definitely come back if given the opportunity. Just come back, see what all has changed since
You got to be curious.
my
about that a
time
little bit.
gone. But especially in the field I want to go into, definitely not a lot of opportunity in Tiffin, Ohio. Uh, Bigger metropolitan areas is where
be great.
a lot of that is at.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people end up coming back to their roots, back to their hometowns, wherever they may be. I feel like eventually down the line, I'll end up back in Tiffin after college and my job and all that. And you build a house, be like my parents.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sick, man.
All right. Well, we're reaching the end of our time here. We really appreciate every one of our viewers for coming on and seeing this. We
Thank you.
appreciate
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
we appreciate Heart of Ohio Sports for letting us use their studio. Definitely not easy to coordinate with a bunch of high school kids during
Right.
this school year. And then special thank you to Mrs. Fote and everyone in the Bragg program for making this possible. Thanks for watching. Make sure to tune into the next episode of the Ty and Andy podcast.